Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, or should I say, good morning to the brave few who still have the backbone to think for themselves in a world drowning in a sea of mediocrity, corruption, and let's be honest, utter stupidity. You see, I have a few things to say about our beloved South Africa, and if you're easily offended, well, that's too bad. Crime-infested, socialist experiment gone horribly wrong. Unemployment, corruption, load shedding. I'm staying here to fight for South Africa. Let's save South Africa. You've had 30 years to cry about it while the country burns. Our South Africa is one of the wealthiest, most resource-rich nations in the world. We sit on gold, platinum, and diamonds. We should be the Switzerland of Africa, and yet, here we are, a bankrupt, crime-infested, socialist experiment gone horribly wrong. Sound familiar? Well, it should, because Argentina was in the same boat. A once great economy, obliterated by government incompetence, rampant corruption, and that irresistible siren song of socialism. Redistribute wealth, hand out freebies, punish the productive, and celebrate the lazy. And just like Argentina, South Africa has spent decades getting it all wrong. 3 decades primarily. We've built nothing, fixed nothing, and now the lights barely work. And here's the kicker. Just like Argentina's new president, Javier Milei, pointed out to the world, we did this to ourselves. Now in Argentina, Milei came in a mere year and a bit ago and wiped out the deficit. Inflation is dropping. They're clawing back their economy from the abyss. And here in South Africa, we're still listening to Marxist relics in government who couldn't run a spaza shop, let alone an economy, let alone a country. We have the ANC, a bunch of corrupt, thieving, economy-destroying imbeciles whose only qualification is their ability to say apartheid in every speech. They've turned the country into a buffet of incompetence. Load shedding, crime, unemployment. Don't worry. The ANC answer to everything is more government. And the worst part, they sell it to you under the warm, fuzzy blanket of transformation, social justice, and equity. Sound familiar? It's the same nonsense Milei ripped apart at Davos when he called out the West's obsession with wokeism. The cancer that destroyed Argentina and is eating away at the West is the same disease killing South Africa. It's called woke socialism, and it comes in many forms. Let's just run through a few of them. Radical feminism that tells women they're perpetual victims while ignoring that most crime victims here in South Africa are men. Climate lunacy that forces us to sit in the dark while we export coal to China. Diversity and inclusion madness that replaces merit with quotas because, God forbid, we hire competent people to run Transnet, our rail service. And race-based policies that make doing business here impossible because we're too busy ticking transformation boxes instead of building an economy. And we're massively overregulated. Milei was right when he called out wokeism as a poison, a convenient excuse to expand the power of the state, regulate everything, kill productivity, and punish those who actually create jobs and wealth. The West has built a bureaucratic monster to enforce these ridiculous policies. And here in South Africa, we didn't even need an external force to do this. We did it to ourselves. Our ANC government's entire business model is incompetence, wrapped in victimhood, enforced by race-baiting populists. And Argentina is not alone in watching mass immigration become an open wound. Europe is being invaded by people who have no intention of integrating. And here in South Africa, we don't even have a border anymore. Millions flood into our country unchecked, overwhelming our hospitals, our schools, and our cities. And instead of enforcing immigration laws, the government celebrates it. Ubuntu, they say. Pan-Africanism. It's not Ubuntu, it's economic suicide. And when South Africans, black, white, colored, Indian, different shapes and sizes, dare to complain that their jobs are being taken, that crime is spiraling, that services are collapsing under the weight, what does the ANC government say? You're xenophobic. Crime isn't a problem in South Africa. No, crime is an industry. If you're not being robbed, hijacked, or murdered, are you even a South African? And the police. Ha! What police? Half of them are criminals. The other half, and I'm taking out the small minority doing a decent job, the other half are too busy taking bribes or sleeping in their cars. And the ANC loves it because it keeps people too scared, too desperate, and too dependent on their fake promises every election cycle. And while criminals roam free, law-abiding business owners trying to protect themselves with firearms are treated like the problem. The ANC government would rather disarm citizens than deal with the real threat themselves. Well, Argentina is clawing its way out of the grave. Javier Milei has slashed government waste, embraced free markets, and told the socialists to shove it. South Africa should do the same. But we won't, because here's the truth. Our ANC government doesn't want the country to work. If South Africa was functional, the ANC couldn't steal anymore. If Transnet was fixed, the ANC couldn't award another BEE contract to their cousin's shell company. If we had real leadership, the whole of the ANC would be in jail. So let's be honest about our options. 1, wait for the ANC to fix itself. I mean, that's hilarious. 2, vote them out. It's possible, but it could take another 10 years, and they've rigged the system. 3, leave the country. Many people I know have, but very few can afford to. And 4, build a parallel economy, private security, private electricity, private education, because the state has failed us. And this is state-proofing. Or here's a radical thought. What if we fought back? What if we stopped apologizing for demanding competence? What if we rejected every single ounce of woke socialist corrupt nonsense spewed at us? What if we embraced meritocracy, capitalism, and the raw, unfiltered truth? Milei told the world to wake up. Will South Africa? Probably not. Because let's face it, we are the Titanic, and the ANC is playing the violin while stealing from the lifeboats. But to those of you still awake, still fighting, still refusing to go down with the ship, the battle isn't over yet. And that, my friends, is the only reason I haven't packed my bags and left. I'm staying here to fight for South Africa. Long live freedom, long live capitalism, and let's fight for a South Africa that actually works. So I'm not on social media. I've never been on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. A mere month or so ago, I opened an X account, respect to Elon Musk, and I don't post very regularly on it. I post really the interviews that I do. But I've decided I am going to launch a YouTube channel, and I am going to post comments, and I'd like a thumbs up and subscribe. It's free. Just give us a thumbs up and please subscribe, and let's get the numbers up. Because I need to speak to the international audience, and I need more of you to stand up and do the same. Let's save South Africa. Let's make South Africa great for once.